Happy Halloween!
Hello and welcome to Mad About Superheroes ranking of Batman's Rogues Gallery. Though I will make comparisons to other versions of the Dark Knight's villains, this is a ranking of Batman's Rogues Gallery from the Tim Burton, Joel Schumacher films from the late 80s into the late 90s. Though Batman is the title character of all 4 installments, the villains and the actors portraying them always stole the spotlight, which is understandable because Batman's colorful cast of criminally insane enemies are the greatest fictional villains of all time.
And here we go.
Number 8. Bane. Physically enhanced by the drug known as Venom, Bane is a formidable foe for Batman in the DC Comics. Not only is he equipped with brute strength, he also has the cunning to match. Unfortunately, Bane's big screen counterpart in Batman and Robin reduces him to a big dumb lackey, used as nothing more than a bodyguard to protect Poison Ivy. And who wouldn't want to guard her body? Portrayed by professional wrestler Robert Swanson, Swanson certainly has the perfect physicality suited for the role of Bane. But the writers really dumbed him down. Tom Hardy's portrayal of Bane in The Dark Knight Rises was definitely a vast improvement. But the story in that film does the character of Bane a disservice by reducing him to lackey status yet again at the behest of a beautiful femme fatale. Number 7. Two-Face. I don't think anyone has a kind word to say about Tommy Lee Jones's performance as Two-Face, and I don't plan to be a contrarian. Cringe performance aside, the film can't even stay consistent with the core concept of the character, which is deciding one's fate by the flip of a coin. In Batman Forever, he just keeps flipping his coin until he gets the side he wants, which is a contradiction to the essence of the character.
Fortune smiles, another day of wine and roses. Or in your case, beer and pizza.
Jones's performance may have been slightly elevated if the duality of the character was portrayed more like his comic book or animated counterparts, which are more tragic and relatable. Aaron Eckhart's portrayal of Two-Face in The Dark Knight was both empathetic and frightening. It's just too bad we never got to see more of him in that role. The setup to Harvey Dent becoming Two-Face is perfect, but his screen time as Two-Face is minimal. Number 6. Mr. Freeze. Originally, Mr. Freeze was named Mr. Zero when he first appeared in the Batman comics in the late 1950s. The name change to Mr. Freeze was actually contributed to the character by the Batman 1966 TV series, and it carried over into the DC Comics. Mr. Freeze is a cooler name than Mr. Zero anyways. Fast forward to the 90s Batman the Animated Series, and Mr. Freeze is given even more characterization, depicting Victor Freeze as a scientist desperately trying to cure his wife of a life-threatening illness. In the process of trying to sustain her life, a lab accident results in Victor no longer being able to survive outside of sub-zero temperatures. Batman and Robin adapts the animated series' origin, but downplays the drama, with lots of ice puns and cold-related humor that lacks the desired effect.
Everything freezes. You are not sending me to the cooler. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Though Arnold Schwarzenegger looks like he's having a blast as Mr. Freeze, unfortunately he wasn't smiling when the reviews were released, and the film was a certified box office bomb.
A bat bomb!
Number 5. Riddler. At times, Jim Carrey's Riddler seems inspired by Frank Gorshin's Riddler from the Batman 1966 TV series. And I'm a huge fan of Gorshin's Riddler, so I appreciate the homage. The riddles the Riddler are known for are part of Batman Forever story, but most of the time Riddler is on screen, it's the Jim Carrey show. Joygasm! A little Carrey would have gone a long way in this movie. Most of the time Carrey's antics are funny, but he's not really playing the Riddler. It's just his usual shtick. Paul Dano's Riddler in The Batman is maybe better, different for sure, well acted, but maybe goes too far in a much darker direction with the character. Number 4. Poison Ivy. The absolutely beautiful Uma Thurman is delightfully devilish as Poison Ivy. Thurman's Mae West-inspired performance suits the campy tone of the film much better than Arnold's ice puns.
Hi there.
And you are...
Poison. Poison Ivy.
Although Batman the Animated Series does everything better, Thurman's Ivy, though exaggerated, is in line with her 90s cartoon counterpart. The Batman and Robin's villainess's love of plants over people is played to comedic effect, and Thurman seems to relish chewing up the scenery as the sexy femme fatale. It's just too bad Thurman's efforts weren't in the service of a better movie.
Once you have frozen mankind, these babies will overrun the globe. And we shall rule them.
Number 3. Penguin. Burgess Meredith gave a standout portrayal of the Penguin on the Batman 1966 TV series that was very much inspired by the source material. However, Batman Returns Penguin is very different from the DC Comics version. Danny DeVito gives an all-out performance as the hideous Penguin Man from the sewer. The Tim Burton Penguin is a misfit, discarded by his own wealthy parents, forced to live in the Gotham City sewers, a far cry from the gentleman of crime he fancies himself in the Batman comics. An interesting amalgam of both versions of the Penguin can be seen in the aforementioned Batman the Animated Series. Transformed by prosthetics and makeup, DeVito leans into the role, gruesome with a devilish wit.
I was their number 1 son, and they treated me like number 2.
The pairing of Christopher Walken as Max Schreck and Danny DeVito as the Penguin is perfect. The duo have great chemistry together. Though covered in prosthetics and makeup, DeVito isn't completely unrecognizable. His voice and stature are very distinguishable. However, the same can't be said for Colin Farrell as the Penguin in The Batman. Farrell completely disappears in the role and delivers a fantastically unique performance.
What the hell is this? Good cop, batshit cop?
Number 2. The Joker. Jack Nicholson's performance as Jack Torrance in The Shining was an obvious precursor to his performance as the Joker.
Here's Johnny!
Nobody plays unhinged like Jack. And just like The Shining, Nicholson expertly delivers the most quotable lines in Batman.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
If you gotta go, go with a smile.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
Many other actors were considered for the part of the Joker, such as Tim Curry, David Bowie, and John Lithgow, to name a few. The most interesting of actors considered for the Clown Prince of Crime, in my opinion, was Brad Dourif, probably best known for his role as the voice of Chucky in the Child's Play franchise. However, the producer's first choice was always Jack Nicholson. Supposedly, Robin Williams was used as a placeholder for the role of the Joker in case Nicholson turned the part down. Obviously, a deal with Jack was sealed, and Williams was out. Nicholson is tailor-made to play the Joker, and though other actors have stepped into the role, and I appreciate them all to varying degrees, my favorite to date is still Jack Nicholson's Joker. Though technically not part of Batman's Rogues Gallery, I'd like to give a shout out to the aforementioned Christopher Walken as Max Schreck, the Red Triangle Gang, and the Joker's right-hand man, Bob the Goon. Number 1. Catwoman. Sean Young lobbied hard for the role, believing she had a claim to it due to her originally being cast in the part of Vicky Vale in Batman, a role that was recast with Kim Basinger when Young was injured in a horse-riding accident. Young was never really considered for the role of Catwoman, as the part was already cast with actress Annette Bening. But when Bening dropped out of the role when she found out she was pregnant, lo and behold, Michelle Pfeiffer stepped into the part, and it was kismet. Pfeiffer was absolutely perfect in the dual role of Selina Kyle and Catwoman.
I don't know about you, Miss Kitty, but I feel so much yummier.
Though the cat burglar persona from the DC Comics is ditched for an anti-hero raging against oppression, the absolutely lovely and talented Michelle Pfeiffer plays the part of Batman Returns Catwoman to the hilt.
Meow.
Cunning and dangerous, she gives Batman a real run for his money, and she looks amazingly sexy doing it. Whether they are at odds in costume, or getting romantically involved out of costume, the chemistry between Michael Keaton's Batman and Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman is absolutely endearing. Among an incredible ensemble cast, Pfeiffer steals the show as Selina Kyle Catwoman.
I am Catwoman. Hear me roar.
Warner Brothers and director Tim Burton had a solo spin-off movie planned for Pfeiffer as Catwoman, but alas it was not meant to be, and the production languished in development hell for years. Eventually a solo Catwoman film was released starring Halle Berry, but the less said about that film the better. There have been just as many actresses that have played Catwoman in live action as there are actors that have played Batman over the decades. Besides Michelle Pfeiffer, other personal favorites are Julie Newmar from the Batman 66 TV series and Zoe Kravitz in The Batman. Do you agree with my ranking of Batman's Rogues Gallery? Let me know in the comments section. And as always, thanks so much for letting your geek flags fly with Mad About Superheroes.
Mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it.
But a kiss can be even deadlier if you mean it.